Hello. In this video, I want to take you on a journey through time as AI interprets it. My name is Chavín, and this is an experiment about different time periods and even some ancient cultures and civilizations. But we take it one step further as well and take a look at what the future could possibly look like. As usual, I have used Midjourney to create the images for this video. And I have prompted the names of each time period first, followed by the time period combined with another word. This time I chose the words fashion. One of the most recognizable aspects of a time period is the way people dress. House architecture is usually also distinctly specific for a time period. Drawing, a different kind of medium. In all honesty, this didn't really respond well to time periods, but I decided to include it anyway. Alien. I wanted to include something really out of place to see how the contrasting ideas go together. There were some mixed results, really depending on the time period prompted. Just a word of caution as well that these images you are about to see may not be historically accurate, but the experiment is to showcase how AI interprets these specific expressions into images. We shall start in chronological order with Paleolithic, circa 3 million BCE to 10,000 BCE, also known as the Stone Age, witnessed the emergence of early humans who crafted stone tools, created cave paintings, and lived nomadic lifestyles as hunter-gatherers. This period represents a crucial stage in human evolution, marking the development of fundamental skills and artistic expression. Prehistoric Cave Art, circa 40,000 BCE to 10,000 BCE, offers glimpses into ancient cultures through depictions of animals, hunting scenes, and abstract symbols found in caves worldwide. These artworks, created with primitive tools and natural pigments, provide valuable insights into the beliefs, rituals, and daily life of early human societies. Neolithic, circa 10,000 BCE to 3000 BCE, characterized by the transition from hunting and gathering to settled agriculture and communal living, saw the rise of permanent settlements, domestication of plants and animals, and the development of pottery and weaving techniques. This period laid the foundation for the rise of civilization and marked a significant shift in human society's lifestyle and culture. Sumerian, circa 4500 BCE to 1900 BCE, flourishing in Mesopotamia, gave birth to the world's earliest known writing system, urban centers, and complex social structures. Sumerians built the first cities, such as Uruk and Ur, and erected monumental temples and ziggurats, showcasing their advanced architectural and organizational skills. Indus Valley, circa 3300 BCE to 1300 BCE, one of the world's earliest urban societies, thrived in present-day Pakistan and northwest India, exhibiting remarkable achievements in urban planning, sanitation, and craftsmanship. Indus Valley cities such as Mohenjo-daro and Harappa boasted well-organized layouts, sophisticated drainage systems, and standardized brick construction, reflecting a high level of social organization and technological prowess. Ancient Egyptian, circa 3100 BCE to 30 BCE, civilization, spanning millennia along the Nile River, left an indelible mark on human history with its monumental architecture, hieroglyphic writing, and religious beliefs centered around the afterlife. Egyptians built majestic pyramids, temples, and tombs, adorned with intricate reliefs and statues, reflecting their reverence for gods and pharaohs and their beliefs in eternal life. Minoan, circa 2700 BCE to 1100 BCE. Bronze Age. Aegean civilization centered on the island of Crete, flourished as a vibrant maritime culture in the Aegean Bronze Age, known for its magnificent palaces, colorful frescoes, and sophisticated trade networks. Minoan art and architecture reflected a love of nature, vibrant colors, and dynamic compositions, capturing the essence of a flourishing civilization deeply connected to the sea and the land. Elamite, circa 2700 BCE to 550 BCE, civilization, located in present-day southwestern Iran, flourished as a major cultural and political center in the ancient Near East. Elamites built impressive cities like Susa and Anshan, renowned for their monumental architecture, sophisticated metalwork, and intricate pottery, showcasing their cultural and technological achievements. Akkadian, circa 2350 BCE to 2150 BCE, empire, founded by Sargon the Great, established the world's first known empire in ancient Mesopotamia. Akkadian art and architecture, influenced by Sumerian traditions, featured grandiose palaces, steles, and sculptures glorifying the achievements of kings, reflecting the empire's power and cultural influence. Mayan, circa 2000 BCE to 10th century, Mesoamerican civilization that left behind a rich legacy of art, architecture, and cultural achievements. Maya cities, such as Tikal and Palenque, boasted monumental pyramids, elaborate palaces, and intricately carved stelae, showcasing their advanced knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and writing. Amazigh, circa 2000 BCE to present day, also known as Berbers, are indigenous peoples of North Africa with a rich cultural heritage dating back thousands of years. Amazigh art and architecture, seen in traditional homes, mosques, and monuments, feature vibrant geometric patterns, intricate carvings, and earthy materials, reflecting the diverse cultural tapestry of the region. Berber, circa 2000 BCE to present day, indigenous ethnic groups across North Africa with their own languages and rich cultural traditions, including distinctive architecture, textiles, and jewelry. Babylonian, circa 1894 BCE to 539 BCE, civilization, centered in the city of Babylon, thrived under the rule of Hammurabi and Nebuchadnezzar, leaving behind a rich legacy of law, astronomy, and monumental architecture. Babylonians built awe-inspiring structures such as the Hanging Gardens, one of the seven wonders of the ancient world, and produced sophisticated astronomical observations and legal codes, shaping the course of human history. Hittite, circa 1600 BCE to 1180 BCE, centered in Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, emerged as a formidable power in the ancient Near East, rivaling the great empires of Egypt and Mesopotamia. Hittite art and architecture combined influences from neighboring civilizations, featuring massive fortifications, monumental gateways, and royal palaces adorned with reliefs depicting scenes of royal life and military conquests. Mycenaean, circa 1600 BCE to 1100 BCE, an early Greek mainland civilization, emerged as a dominant power in the Late Bronze Age, renowned for its fortified citadels, warrior culture, and epic poetry. Mycenaean art and architecture featured imposing palaces, massive cyclopean walls, and richly decorated tombs, reflecting the civilization's military prowess, social hierarchy, and cultural achievements. Ancient Chinese dynasties, circa 1600 BCE to 3rd century. The history of China is marked by a succession of dynastic periods, each leaving its own distinctive imprint on Chinese art, culture, and society. From the Xia to the Qing dynasties, Chinese civilization witnessed remarkable achievements in art, philosophy, and technology, reflected in the country's rich architectural heritage, philosophical traditions, and artistic masterpieces. Lydian, circa 1200 BCE to 550 BCE. Civilization, located in western Anatolia, flourished as a major hub of trade and commerce in the ancient world, known for its rich artistic heritage and advanced metallurgical techniques. Lydians excelled in metalwork, jewelry, and coinage, showcasing their wealth and cultural sophistication through intricate craftsmanship and innovative designs. Chavín, circa 900 BCE to 300 BCE, flourishing in the Andean highlands of Peru, created one of South America's earliest complex societies, known for its monumental architecture and religious iconography. Chavín temples such as Chavín de Huántar featured labyrinthine passageways, stone carvings, and sculptures depicting supernatural beings and deities, reflecting a sophisticated understanding of cosmology and spiritual beliefs. Etruscan, circa 800 BCE to 30 BCE, flourishing in central Italy, was known for its advanced cities, rich artistic heritage, and intricate burial customs. Etruscans built monumental tombs, temples, and city walls, featuring elaborate terracotta sculptures, vibrant frescoes, and sophisticated metalwork, reflecting a unique blend of indigenous and foreign influences. Ancient Greek, circa 800 BCE to 5th century, characterized by its achievements in philosophy, art, and democracy, laid the foundation for Western culture and civilization. Greeks built majestic temples, theaters, and civic buildings, adorned with sculptures and friezes celebrating the human form, mythology, and idealized beauty, embodying the spirit of artistic excellence and intellectual inquiry. Celtic, circa 800 BCE to 7th century, tribes spanning across Europe from the Iron Age to the Roman conquest, was characterized by its artistic expression, craftsmanship, and spiritual beliefs. Celts created intricate metalwork, jewelry, and monumental stone carvings, embodying a rich tapestry of mythology, symbolism, and cultural identity. Ancient Roman, 753 BCE to 476, one of the most influential ancient civilizations, lasting for centuries across Europe and the Mediterranean, left a profound legacy of architecture, engineering, and law. Romans built grandiose monuments, aqueducts, and amphitheaters, blending influences from Greek, Etruscan, and Hellenistic traditions, reflecting their ambition, ingenuity, and cultural assimilation. Gandhara, circa 600 BCE to 7th century, region, located in present-day Pakistan and Afghanistan, flourished as a center of Buddhist art and culture during the Hellenistic and Kushan periods. Gandharan art blended Greek, Persian, and Indian influences, producing iconic sculptures and reliefs depicting Buddha and Buddhist narratives, reflecting the region's rich cultural exchange and artistic synthesis. Achaemenid, circa 550 BCE to 330 BCE. Empire, founded by Cyrus the Great, spanned vast territories from the Balkans to the Indus Valley, establishing one of the largest empires in ancient history. Achaemenid art and architecture featured grand palaces, monumental tombs, and intricate reliefs, symbolizing the empire's power, wealth, and cultural diversity. Hellenistic, 323 BCE to 31 BCE, period, following the conquests of Alexander the Great, witnessed the spread of Greek culture throughout the eastern Mediterranean and beyond. Hellenistic art and architecture combined Greek and local influences, featuring monumental sculptures, ornate temples, and bustling urban centers, reflecting the cosmopolitan nature of the era. First century, starting from year 0. I have also decided to include just the centuries as prompts instead of the eras by ancient civilizations. Described as early imperial era of ancient Rome known for engineering marvels like aqueducts, amphitheaters, and triumphal arches. Roman fashion consisted of draped togas and stolas, while architecture featured classical columns, arches, and domes. Moche, circa 1st century to 7th century, thriving along the northern coast of Peru, created a complex society known for its advanced irrigation systems, monumental architecture, and exquisite pottery. Moche art depicted scenes of everyday life, religious rituals, and mythical beings, offering insights into the culture's social hierarchy, religious practices, and artistic achievements. Second century, peak of the Roman Empire with Antonine expansion and lavish interiors becoming fashionable. As wealthy Romans decorated homes with frescoes, mosaics, and marble statues. Scenes depicted mythological stories, still life, and activities like hunting and dining. Inspiration also drew from Egyptian and Greek art styles as the empire expanded. Elaborate baths with vaulted ceilings and underfloor heating were emblems of Roman luxury and engineering. Tiwanaku, circa 2nd century to 11th century, civilization, centered near Lake Titicaca in modern-day Bolivia, flourished as a major religious and cultural center in the Andean region. Tiwanaku temples and monuments showcased intricate stone masonry, symbolic iconography, and celestial alignments, reflecting the civilization's spiritual beliefs, cosmological worldview, and artistic sophistication. Third century, decline of Roman West, but continuation of classical styles in the Byzantine East. Centered in Constantinople, the Byzantine Empire became extremely prosperous through trade and preserved Greco-Roman cultural traditions. Rulers commissioned grand churches and palaces adorned with mosaics depicting biblical scenes. Alongside secular subjects, the capital's Hagia Sophia Church demonstrated Byzantine architectural grandeur. 4th century, rise of Christianity transformed Roman art and architecture with the first basilica churches. Introducing Christian symbolism. Common motifs included the cross, fish, dove, anchors and vines in mosaics and frescoes. Artists also created illustrations for illuminated biblical manuscripts. Early Christian imagery avoided direct depictions of biblical figures. Byzantine, circa 330 to 1435, successor to the Eastern Roman Empire, spanned over a millennium as a beacon of Christian civilization in the Mediterranean world. Byzantine art and architecture, characterized by mosaics, icons, and domed churches, such as Hagia Sophia, reflected a synthesis of classical, Christian, and Eastern influences, shaping the artistic traditions of the medieval world. 5th century, gradual loss of Roman Western provinces gave rise to regional aesthetics from invaders, blending styles. This mixture can be seen in the sculptural decorations and illuminated manuscripts of the time period. Metalwork and jewelry also exhibited Germanic and Celtic influences, like intricate knotwork designs. Architecture prioritized fortification over decoration. Anglo-Saxon, circa 450 to 1066, the fusion of Germanic, Celtic and Roman influences in art and culture. Anglo-Saxon art, seen in illuminated manuscripts, metalwork, and jewelry, featured intricate interlace patterns, animal motifs, and scenes from Christian and pagan mythology, showcasing the artistic achievements of early medieval England. 6th century, with the Western Empire's fall, Byzantine opulence flourished in Constantinople with domed churches and mosaics. Exemplified by the Grand Hagia Sophia. This immense cathedral featured a massive domed roof and lavish golden mosaics covering the interior. Byzantine fashion embraced heavily embroidered silk robes and ornate jewelry set with pearls and gemstones. Medieval Europe, circa 6th century to 16th century, a tumultuous era of feudalism, religious strife, and cultural exchange. Medieval art and architecture, seen in cathedrals, castles, and illuminated manuscripts, reflected the spiritual devotion, chivalric ideals, and social hierarchies of medieval society, shaping the cultural landscape of Europe for centuries to come. Seventh century, Islamic conquest, spread distinctive Middle Eastern mosque architecture and calligraphic ornamentation, influencing art and architecture widely. Key features included hypostyle prayer halls, minarets, domes, and intricate calligraphic inscriptions from the Quran. Arabesque vegetal patterns and complex geometric motifs proliferated across media. Insular, circa 7th century to 10th century, the insular art of the British Isles, developed during the early medieval period, produced some of the most iconic artworks of the era. Insular manuscripts such as the Book of Kells and Lindisfarne Gospels are renowned for their intricate interlaced designs, vibrant colors, and exquisite calligraphy, representing a unique fusion of Celtic, Anglo-Saxon, and Christian artistic traditions. 8th century, while Byzantium thrived, the Abbasid Caliphate sparked an Islamic artistic and cultural golden age, advancing fields like ceramics and metalwork. This era saw innovations in glazing techniques, luxury textiles like silk brocades, and decorative patterns synthesizing Persian influences. Major intellectual centers like the House of Wisdom in Baghdad drove scientific and philosophical inquiry. Carolingian, circa 8th century to 10th century, a revival of art, religion and education spearheaded by Charlemagne in the Frankish Empire. Carolingian art, seen in illuminated manuscripts, frescoes, and metalwork, emphasized classical motifs, narrative scenes, and a revival of Roman artistic techniques, laying the groundwork for the cultural revival of medieval Europe. Islamic Golden Age, 8th century to 14th century, witnessed a flourishing of scholarship, science, and artistic patronage across the Islamic world. Islamic art and architecture, characterized by intricate geometric patterns, arabesques, and calligraphy, adorned mosques, palaces, and manuscripts, reflecting the diverse cultural heritage and cosmopolitan ideals of Islamic civilization. Pueblo, circa 8th century to present day, adobe dwellings and handwoven textiles by Native American communities in the Southwest U.S., reflecting their cultural traditions. The earth-toned adobe architecture blended seamlessly into the desert landscape. The Pueblo crafted pottery, baskets and jewelry incorporating symbolic designs passed down for generations. Viking Age, circa 793 to 1066, spanning from the late 8th to the 11th century, saw Norse seafarers embark on raids, trade expeditions, and exploration across Europe, Asia, and the North Atlantic. Viking art, seen in runestones, metalwork, and ship decorations, featured intricate patterns, animal motifs, and scenes from Norse mythology, reflecting the cultural vibrancy and artistic prowess of the Viking world. 9th century. The Carolingian Renaissance revived classical influences across monasteries and scriptoriums in Europe. Seen in illuminated manuscripts, calligraphic texts combined with illustrations of plants, animals, and biblical narratives drawn in vibrant colors. This era laid the groundwork for the later establishment of Europe's first universities. 10th century, Islamic world advanced complex geometry while Europe remained unstable after invasions. With achievements in architecture and decorative textiles, Innovations included Muqarnas vaulting with geometric honeycomb designs. Trade and cultural diffusion spread Islamic artistic influences to regions like Spain and Sicily. Fatimid, 909 to 1171, Caliphate, centered in North Africa and Egypt, flourished as a major center of Islamic culture and learning. A Shiite caliphate ruling parts of North Africa, combining Greco-Roman architectural motifs with Islamic styles and ornate calligraphic flourishes. '11th century, the Romanesque style's massive barrel-vaulted churches were rebuilt across Europe. Drawing from Roman construction techniques, these fortified churches featured thick stone walls, small windows and minimal exterior decoration for security. Sculpted interiors contained geometric patterns, foliate motifs and narrative scenes. Romanesque, circa 11th century to 13th century, a revival of monumental architecture, pilgrimage routes, and religious fervor across medieval Europe. Romanesque churches, with their rounded arches, thick walls, and ornate sculptures, served as expressions of faith and power, marking the transition from the Dark Ages to the High Middle Ages. '12th century, the Gothic architectural revolution with vertical columns, ribbed vaults and stained glass transformed cathedral design. The style created cathedrals with unprecedented interior heights and elaborate stone sculpture programs. Rayonnant rose windows filtered kaleidoscopic colored light into the church naves. Mudejar, 12th century to 17th century. A blend of Islamic and Christian aesthetics in architecture and decorative styles that developed on the Iberian Peninsula during and after Moorish rule. Key features included horseshoe arches, geometric tile work, wooden carvings with Arabic calligraphy and floral motifs, and courtyards with fountains. This hybridized artistic tradition reflected the centuries of cultural interchange and coexistence between Muslim and Christian populations in medieval Spain and Portugal. 13th century. As Gothic cathedrals peaked, Islamic Spain's Alhambra displayed arabesque motifs and calligraphy. Vegetal motifs alongside Muqarnas domes, serene courtyard gardens with fountains and decorative glazed tile work. The palace was an unparalleled masterpiece of Islamic architecture, arts and design. International Gothic, circa 13th century to 16th century, the Gothic architectural style spreading across Europe, with ornate stone castles and intricately patterned fur-trimmed velvet clothing, worn by nobility. This era saw master stonemasons and textile artisans produce increasingly elaborate and exquisite works at the height of their crafts. Ottoman, circa 1299 to 1923. Empire centered in Anatolia, known for mosques with calligraphic flourishes and opulent silk robes, worn by the nobility, displaying the empire's immense wealth. The mosques exhibited dazzling geometric patterned tilework and mastery of domed architecture. The sultans attracted the most skilled artisans from across their realms. '14th century, the Mudejar aesthetic, blending Islamic and Christian styles, emerged in Spain and Portugal, combining architectural elements. This hybrid style featured horseshoe arches, intricate geometric tile work and wooden ceilings carved with calligraphy and floral designs. It stood as a legacy of centuries of religious and cultural interchange between Muslims and Christians on the Iberian Peninsula. 15th century, the Italian Renaissance pioneered revivals of secular motifs and humanist philosophy across arts, breaking from medieval church traditions. Renaissance artists pioneered advancements like oil painting, linear perspective, anatomical studies, and naturalistic representations. Wealthy merchant and noble patrons provided funding for the commissions. Renaissance, circa 15th century to 17th century, the transformative cultural rebirth that originated in Italy, ushering in secular influences like humanist philosophy, colorful frescoes, and a flourishing of rich woolen and silk fabrics. Renaissance scholars and artists looked back to the classical Greco-Roman era for inspiration on human-centric ideals. 16th century, Mannerism elaborated on the Renaissance while the Ottomans built grand calligraphic mosques. Blending Persian and Byzantine traditions, Mannerist art explored idiosyncratic compositions reflecting deep philosophical questions. Ottoman imperial complexes included religious and secular structures. Mannerism, circa 1520 to 1600, style elaborating on Renaissance, primarily in Italy and the Netherlands. That elaborated on the Renaissance by subverting naturalism with artificial distortions, elongated figures in strained poses, and irrational perspectives conveying a sense of tension. Mannerist works featured an overall stylized, idiosyncratic aesthetic reflecting the philosophical turmoil of the era. Mughal, circa 1526 to 1857, Islamic Indian Empire constructing lavish Persian-inspired palaces and ornate jewelry. The opulent Islamic Mughal Empire ruling from capitals across the Indian subcontinent constructed lavish Persian-inspired palace complexes, mausoleums like the Taj Mahal, and artwork showcasing the realm's immense wealth. Mughal architecture and decorative arts synthesized diverse influences from Persia, India, and Central Asia into a distinctive aesthetic. Elizabethan, circa 1558 to 1603, characterized by the reign of Queen Elizabeth I, saw a flourishing of arts and exploration. Fashion boasted elaborate garments adorned with ruffles and lace, while architecture embraced the Tudor style with timber framing and ornamental half-timbering, reflecting opulence and grandeur. '17th century, a time of significant change and innovation across Europe. Fashion transitioned to simpler designs with subdued colors, while Baroque architecture emerged with grandiose designs, elaborate ornamentation, and a focus on creating awe-inspiring spaces conveying power and wealth. Jacobean, circa 1603 to 1623, was marked by political intrigue and cultural flourishing. Its fashion featured rich fabrics and structured silhouettes, while its architecture showcased grandiose designs with intricate woodwork and symmetrical facades, blending Renaissance and Gothic influences. Baroque, circa 1600 to 1750, characterized by its dramatic and theatrical aesthetic. Fashion featured opulent fabrics and exaggerated silhouettes, while Baroque architecture embraced grandeur, symmetry, and elaborate ornamentation, reflecting a desire to inspire awe and wonder. American colonial, 17th century to 18th century, defined by the establishment of English colonies in North America. Fashion mirrored European trends with practical garments, while colonial architecture featured Georgian and federal styles, emphasizing symmetry, classical motifs, and sturdy construction using local materials. Southwestern adobe, 17th century to present day, originating from Native American and Spanish influences, features earthen construction and flat roofs for desert climates. Fashion in the Southwest incorporates Native American and Mexican elements, with vibrant colors and lightweight fabrics, reflecting a blend of cultural traditions and practicality. '18th century, a transition towards refinement and elegance in fashion and architecture. Clothing became more tailored and refined, while architecture embraced Rococo and neoclassical styles, featuring delicate detailing, symmetrical designs, and a sense of grace and sophistication. Rococo, circa 1700 to 1790, characterized by its playful and ornate aesthetic. Fashion embraced soft silhouettes and pastel colors, while Rococo architecture featured elaborate ornamentation and whimsical motifs, creating spaces that exuded charm and elegance. Georgian, circa 1720 to 1837, marked by a sense of refinement and classical influence. Fashion featured tailored garments and understated elegance, while Georgian architecture emphasized symmetry, proportion, and classical motifs, reflecting a desire for order and balance. American Federal, late 18th century to mid-19th century, reflected the burgeoning independence and sophistication of the new nation. Fashion mirrored European styles with simplicity and refinement, while federal architecture showcased neoclassical elements, emphasizing symmetry and classical proportions. Neoclassical, circa 1760 to 1830, drew inspiration from ancient Greek and Roman styles. Fashion featured draped garments and classical motifs, while neoclassical architecture embraced simplicity, symmetry, and a return to classical proportions, reflecting a desire for rationality and order. Shaker, 1770 to 1960, defined by simplicity, craftsmanship, and communal living. Fashion reflected the practicality of the Shaker lifestyle with modest garments, while Shaker architecture prioritized functionality and quality craftsmanship, featuring clean lines and minimal ornamentation. '19th century, a period of innovation and transformation in both fashion and architecture. Fashion saw a variety of styles, from the romanticism of the early decades to the opulence of the Victorian era, while architecture embraced eclectic influences, reflecting the changing tastes and technological advancements of the time. Romantic, circa 1800 to 1850, characterized by a focus on emotion, nature, and individual expression. Fashion featured flowing silhouettes and delicate details, and Romantic architecture featured whimsical designs and ornamental gardens, evoking a sense of nostalgia and fantasy. Biedermeier, circa 1815 to 1848, reflected a desire for simplicity, comfort, and domesticity. Fashion favored tailored garments and muted colors, while Biedermeier architecture emphasized clean lines and warmth, creating intimate spaces suited for family life. Victorian, circa 1837 to 1901. Characterized by strict social norms and cultural values. Fashion featured elaborate garments and structured silhouettes, while Victorian architecture showcased opulence and grandeur with intricate detailing and eclectic ornamentation. The 1860s also marks the spot in our video where I also wanted to specify the time periods by decade. This decade witnessed the continuation of Victorian styles in both fashion and architecture. Women's dresses featured voluminous skirts, while men's suits became more tailored. Architecture continued to emphasize ornamentation, symmetry, and grandeur. American stick style, 1860 to 1890, architecture was characterized by decorative wooden trim and exposed structural elements. Fashion continued to reflect Victorian ideals with elaborate dresses for women and fitted suits for men, while architecture embraced Gothic and Tudor influences. Eastlake, circa 1860 to 1905, architecture, named after Charles Eastlake, emphasized craftsmanship and natural materials. Fashion of the period echoed Victorian styles with ornate detailing and rich fabrics, while architecture favored simplicity and the use of wood and stone, reflecting a shift towards domestic comfort and craftsmanship. 1870s saw a continuation of Victorian fashion trends, with women's dresses adorned with bustles and flounces, and men's suits becoming more tailored. Architecture of the time featured an eclectic mix of styles, combining elements of Gothic Revival, Italianate, and Second Empire design to create ornate and elaborate buildings. The 1880s, Victorian fashion reached its peak, with women's dresses featuring elaborate trimmings and corsets, and men's suits becoming increasingly structured. Architecture continued to showcase the ornate and eclectic style of the era, with buildings adorned with intricate detailing and decorative elements. The 1890s marked the end of the Victorian era, with fashion trends shifting towards simpler and more tailored designs for both men and women. Architecture also began to move away from the elaborate ornamentation of the Victorian period, embracing a more understated and functional aesthetic in line with changing social values. Viennese secession, circa 1897 to 1918, characterized by a break from traditional artistic conventions. Fashion embraced innovative and avant-garde designs, while architecture rejected historicism in favor of modernism, featuring clean lines, geometric forms, and the use of new materials such as steel and glass. Twentieth century, a time of rapid change and innovation in both fashion and architecture. Fashion trends varied widely, from the simplicity of the early decades to the boldness of later movements such as Art Deco and Modernism. Similarly, architecture saw a shift towards new styles and techniques, reflecting the technological advancements and cultural shifts of the century. The 1900s witnessed the transition from the Victorian era to the modern age. Fashion began to embrace looser and more practical styles, while architecture saw the emergence of new movements, such as Art Nouveau and the Prairie School, characterized by organic forms and a closer integration with nature. Prairie School, circa 1900 to 1920, emphasized harmony with the natural environment. Fashion of the period echoed this sentiment with simple and unstructured garments, while Prairie School architecture embraced horizontal lines, open floor plans, and a connection to the landscape, reflecting a desire for simplicity and functionality. Edwardian, circa 1901 to 1910, characterized by elegance and refinement. Fashion featured tailored suits and elegant dresses with intricate lace and embroidery, while Edwardian architecture embraced classical motifs and grandeur, reflecting a desire for luxury and sophistication. The 1910s. From this point on, I will no longer separate eras and styles, because the 20th century saw such an explosion of styles that are so well documented. This decade marked a period of transition and upheaval, both socially and stylistically. Fashion trends ranged from the opulence of the early years to the practicality of wartime attire, while architecture saw the emergence of new movements such as Art Deco and Modernism, characterized by geometric forms and sleek, streamlined designs. 1920s, often referred to as the Roaring Twenties, was a time of social liberation and cultural dynamism. Fashion embraced the spirit of the era with flapper dresses and bold accessories, while architecture reflected the modernist ideals of progress and innovation, featuring streamlined forms and geometric patterns inspired by the machine age. The 1930s was a decade defined by economic hardship and social change. Fashion trends became more conservative and understated, reflecting the austerity of the Great Depression, while architecture embraced the sleek elegance of Art Deco design, characterized by geometric shapes, lavish ornamentation, and a sense of glamour and escapism. The 1940s was dominated by the events of World War II, which had a significant impact on both fashion and architecture. Fashion became more utilitarian and rationed, with an emphasis on practicality and durability, while architecture focused on efficiency and functionality, with wartime restrictions influencing design choices and materials. 1950s was a time of economic prosperity and cultural conservatism. Fashion embraced the glamour of Hollywood with full skirts and tailored suits, while architecture saw the rise of suburban sprawl and the proliferation of modernist designs, reflecting the optimism and consumerism of the era. 1960s was a decade of social and cultural revolution, reflected in both fashion and architecture. Fashion became more youthful and experimental, with bold colors and psychedelic prints, while architecture embraced the ideals of modernism and futurism, featuring bold shapes and innovative materials inspired by space-age technology. The 1970s was a time of cultural pluralism and self-expression, reflected in the eclectic fashion and architecture of the era. Fashion embraced a mix of styles, from the bohemian hippie look to the glamorous disco aesthetic, while architecture saw a revival of historicist styles and a growing interest in environmental sustainability. The 1980s was a decade of excess and extravagance, reflected in the bold fashion and architecture of the era. Fashion embraced power dressing with shoulder pads and bold colors, while architecture saw the rise of postmodernism, characterized by eclectic styles and playful references to historic design motifs. The 1990s was a decade of cultural and technological change, reflected in the fashion and architecture of the era. Fashion became more casual and minimalistic, with grunge and streetwear influences, while architecture saw the rise of digital design tools and the beginnings of sustainable architecture practices. The 21st century has been characterized by rapid globalization and technological advancement, shaping both fashion and architecture in new and innovative ways. Fashion trends have become increasingly diverse and inclusive, while architecture has embraced digital fabrication and sustainable design principles, reflecting a growing awareness of environmental and social issues. 2000s saw the rise of digital technology and the internet, influencing both fashion and architecture. Fashion became more accessible and fast-paced with the rise of online shopping and social media, while architecture saw the emergence of parametric design and smart building technologies, reflecting a new era of connectivity and innovation. The 2010s was a decade of rapid change and uncertainty, reflected in the fashion and architecture of the era. Fashion became more individualistic and trend-driven, with a focus on sustainability and ethical production, while architecture saw a growing interest in adaptive reuse and community-focused design, reflecting a desire for more inclusive and resilient built environments. 2020s is a decade marked by global challenges and rapid technological advancements, shaping both fashion and architecture in unprecedented ways. Fashion has become increasingly digital and decentralized, with virtual fashion shows and sustainable materials gaining prominence, while architecture has embraced biophilic design and resilient infrastructure, reflecting a renewed focus on human well-being and environmental stewardship. 2030s, now we embark on trying to imagine what our future could look like. This decade may be characterized by a fusion of sustainability and innovation in both fashion and architecture. Fashion could see the rise of smart textiles and eco-friendly materials, while architecture might embrace regenerative design principles and modular construction techniques, reflecting a growing urgency to address environmental challenges while pushing the boundaries of creativity and technology. 2050s, fashion and architecture could be shaped by advancements in artificial intelligence and biotechnology. Fashion may incorporate customizable garments tailored to individual preferences and body metrics, while architecture might feature biomimetic designs inspired by nature's efficiency and resilience, creating spaces that adapt and respond to human needs and environmental changes. In the 2070s, fashion and architecture could be radically transformed by advances in virtual and augmented reality. Fashion may transcend physical constraints, with digital garments and immersive experiences blurring the lines between the real and virtual worlds. While architecture might embrace holographic displays and interactive environments, revolutionizing the way we perceive and interact with our built surroundings. 22nd century, fashion and architecture could evolve in ways we can scarcely imagine. Fashion might be personalized at the molecular level, with garments grown from living organisms and embedded with biometric sensors, while architecture could encompass sentient structures that adapt and evolve in response to human behavior and environmental conditions, ushering in a new era of symbiotic living. 2100s, fashion and architecture could be at the forefront of a post-scarcity society, where resources are abundant and creativity knows no bounds. Fashion might become a form of self-expression beyond material constraints, with virtual fashion studios and neural interfaces allowing individuals to shape their identities in limitless ways. Architecture could transcend earthly confines with space habitats and terraformed landscapes, opening up new frontiers for human habitation and exploration. 23rd century, fashion and architecture could reflect the culmination of centuries of technological advancement and cultural evolution. Fashion may transcend the physical realm altogether, with consciousness-based attire and holographic projections shaping individual identities, while architecture might embrace interstellar travel and terraforming technologies, giving rise to cosmic civilizations and celestial habitats beyond the confines of our solar system. 2200s, fashion and architecture could be woven into the fabric of galactic civilization, transcending temporal and spatial boundaries. Fashion might be a form of telepathic expression, with neural interfaces and quantum entanglement enabling instant communication of aesthetic preferences, while architecture could span entire star systems, with Dyson spheres and megastructures, redefining the very concept of space and scale. 2300s, fashion and architecture could be shaped by the mysteries of the multiverse and the limits of human imagination. Fashion might encompass trans-dimensional forms and quantum fluctuations, blurring the boundaries between reality and imagination, while architecture could transcend the laws of physics with fractal cities and extra-dimensional constructs, offering glimpses into realms beyond our comprehension. 2400s, fashion and architecture could be expressions of cosmic consciousness and universal harmony. Fashion might embody the unity of all beings, with garments woven from stardust and imbued with the wisdom of the cosmos, while architecture could be temples of transcendence, resonating with the frequencies of higher dimensions and guiding humanity towards enlightenment and cosmic oneness. 2500s, fashion and architecture could transcend time and space, becoming timeless expressions of the human spirit. Fashion might be a tapestry of memories and dreams, weaving together echoes of past, present, and future. Architecture could be portals to parallel worlds and alternate realities, offering glimpses into the infinite possibilities of existence and the eternal quest for beauty and meaning. 30th century, fashion and architecture could exist in symbiosis with the natural world and advanced technology. Fashion may integrate bioluminescent fabrics and organic materials grown sustainably, harmonizing with the environment, while architecture could incorporate living structures and sentient ecosystems, fostering a harmonious coexistence between humanity and the planet. "3000s, fashion and architecture could transcend physical form, becoming manifestations of consciousness and collective creativity. Fashion might be a projection of emotions and thoughts, shaped by neural interfaces and shared experiences, while architecture could be ephemeral and ever-evolving, existing as energy fields and fractal geometries in the fabric of space-time." "40th century, fashion and architecture might be expressions of cosmic consciousness and transcendental beauty. Fashion could embody the unity of the universe, with garments woven from the fabric of space-time and imbued with the resonance of celestial harmonies, while architecture might be temples of cosmic wisdom, reflecting the infinite mysteries of existence and the eternal quest for enlightenment." "4000s, fashion and architecture could transcend the boundaries of the known universe, existing as cosmic art forms beyond comprehension. Fashion might be a dance of subatomic particles and quantum fluctuations, shaping and reshaping reality with every movement, while architecture could be cosmic cathedrals of light and sound, resonating with the rhythms of the cosmos and the pulse of creation itself. "50th century, fashion and architecture might be remnants of a distant past or visions of a distant future, existing outside the constraints of time and space. Fashion could be a memory of forgotten worlds and lost civilizations, preserved in the fabric of the universe, while architecture might be monuments to the enduring spirit of humanity and the eternal quest for beauty and meaning in an ever-changing cosmos." "5000s, fashion and architecture could be echoes of a bygone era or reflections of a distant dream, transcending the boundaries of reality and imagination. Fashion might be a symphony of light and color, weaving together the threads of existence in a tapestry of infinite possibilities, while architecture could be portals to parallel dimensions and alternate realities, offering glimpses into the boundless realms of the multiverse." You probably noticed that the descriptions of the future did not align with the images, especially towards the end. It is because the same phrases don't mean the same things to Midjourney or to ChatGPT or Claude. Midjourney just combines things that it knows mostly. And language models can come up with really crazy fantasies about how fast our civilization will evolve. The tip again is to improve the results significantly by using the descriptions of the decades and centuries instead of just their names. On the other hand, the historical time periods and cultures tended to look like museum displays and ruins quite often. But that is how we have seen those civilizations, and that is what the source material is: ruins and museum displays. I suspect that using negative prompting and adding "no museum or ruins" may help a little bit. Or just add a longer description to the prompt. It will become a word salad, but I am starting to warm up to longer prompts. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this journey through time and learned something in the process. And as always, I hope you found some prompts that you would like to try out yourself and iterate upon. Let me know in the comments if any of the time periods really caught your eye. Thank you so much for watching, and let's continue prompting.